Hey, thanks for stopping by. For those of you who are on my Facebook Live on Monday, you might have noticed a comment that came across that asked me about, for a beginner tarot reader. The question was twofold. One was about picking a deck, and the other was about spreads, like how to deal with a spread or how to understand a spread or how to basically work with the cards. And so in this video, let me share with you my experience with picking a deck. And this is, I think, at the most basic elemental part of tarot. In other words, which deck do you want to work with, right? That's the most obvious first step. And I was going to just do this off the top of my head. And then I was looking through some of my notes that I had made many years ago on all these subjects about tarot. I have a book here. I think it weighs, let me show you. Oh, I think it weighs, I don't know, it weighs a lot. It could be 50 pounds of things I've collected since the 70s, since I started reading. Different articles that I picked up, my notes, things that I learned. Anyway, it goes on and on. There's so much in this book. And one of the things I found was what I used to send out. I used to send out something called Tarot Talk in the days when I was sending out mail. And it was a really fun thing to put together. About once a month, I think, is when I did it. Anyway, I happen to find, and I don't have a lot of these, they are not on a computer, they're lost. But in looking through my things, I found this one, and it basically was the one that said how to pick a deck that is right for you. So I'm just going to read it for you, hoping that it'll help. As always, if there's something I'm missing or you have other questions about it, please put it in the comments. So here we go. It says, many people ask me this question, basically how to pick a deck that's right for me, right? And there are a huge amount of decks to choose from. Even back then when I wrote this, and I don't have a date, but I can tell you it was definitely in the early 90s or late 80s. There weren't even as many decks, and there are so many decks now. So yeah, how do we do this and not get overwhelmed, right? So tarot is powered by intuition. Tarot readers create their own decks, and they want to share their views and their symbols. And I think this is positive, and it's why we have so many decks, because we learn in so many different ways, right? But this means that the countless decks and the countless images, everything from cats to Egyptian imagery, from herbs to female identified symbols, can make it a little overwhelming. So shop for a deck armed with your intuition and the knowledge that one deck's images may speak to you, while another might just leave you cold. With that in mind, and once you've narrowed down your personal tastes, the next step is to spend time looking at each card in a deck. In other words, I'm still hoping that there are places you can go. There used to be places that always had tarot decks open, stores, shops, metaphysical stores. So you could actually look at every card, and I'm hoping you can still do that. So many places that I go into these days have the boxes sealed up, but that doesn't give us an opportunity to look at each card. How are you going to know what to buy and what resonates with you? So look for open decks. If not, maybe write down decks that you like at this point. Get on the internet. Maybe you can find the cards on the internet, so you can look at each individual card if a box isn't open wherever you go to shop. Because basically what I'm saying is that it's really important to look at cards in the deck, all the cards, because you're going to observe how you feel about the overall deck looking at the different cards. And I want to stress, and I wrote this, that you need to be prepared for the plain fact that some cards are going to resonate with you while other cards won't in the deck. It's a fact of life, right? In every deck, there are just going to be cards you aren't ready to get close to. They may actually repel you. But that doesn't mean that that deck's not right for you, right? Because really, I think every deck that you like, there will be maybe 10% of the deck or 20% of the deck that absolutely doesn't speak to you. That's okay. But if 80% of the deck does, that's your deck. And you will get more familiar with the cards that didn't resonate with you. I have never spoken to anybody, including myself, who opens a deck or who picks a deck for themselves and loves every single card. And if you're one of those people who loves all 100, all 78 cards in that deck, I want to hear from you, because I just don't think it happens very often that we resonate with every card. But, at least 80%, I would say, or, maybe 75% would be the deck that you probably are going to work with, because it's going to already, it's a high intuitively, it's resonating with your intuition and what you like, right? The cards are symbols, the cards are images. You want to at least be able to feel attracted to all of that. And then the other part of this question was, how do we learn? What's the best way to get familiar with the cards? Well, I am working right now on YouTube, taking you through all the major cards, and you might want to look at that. And at the end of that time, which is about 22 weeks, right, all the major cards that I get through, I will post some of the best ways to learn. And honestly, I might have already done that on YouTube, so you can check under tarot tips and see if that's already there. The other thing I want to say is that initially, for a beginner, when you're getting started, every deck comes with a key, right? It comes with a little book, a little white book that will explain that deck and also allow you to look at what each card means. So I always say start with that. And that is the best way, because that goes with the deck. If you want to expand your knowledge, that's great. And I will put in the comment section some of the books that I've used over the years that I find are really good in terms of being able to interpret cards. And this is getting long, so I think what I'll do is I'll leave you this for now. And I will do another video right after this that goes on to describe a few initial beginning spreads that will help you to answer some of the questions that you're trying to get answers from using your new tarot deck. All right, thanks for stopping by. If you have comments, questions about this, or want further information about anything I've said, you know what to do. Put it in the comments. Please subscribe. Go ahead and hit that bell, as they say on YouTube land, so that you get posts that I've put something up. All right. Thanks.